Episode 7 of $5 Fridays. Hey Moola, Jason Shapard here, episode 7 of $5 Fridays. Well, Moola, it's still been a week, a slightly better week. Let's look here together at my $5 per day account. For those of you who don't know, I've been investing for the past 7 weeks now, $5 every single day. You can see from the chart, there's that big dip when you come out and say, hey, tariffs, right? And that's not a political statement. That's just, it's what happened. But it presented a great opportunity. You're going to see that dip in that chart continue to grow. I'm not saying that's the only dip we're going to have. This is a long journey. What I am saying is, hey, that happened. We invested during that dip, just like we invest every single day, or as you watch this every single week. And we just use what's called dollar cost averaging. Anyways, let's look. Only down 2% in the past 30 days. How could you say, wow, all this tariff stuff that's been happening, how could you only be down 2%? Because we continued buying when we were down, we actually lowered our average cost per share. Let me explain it to you actually real quick. This is important before we get into it. Let's look at VOO. VOO is our S&P 500 index fund. I'm a huge proponent of ETFs and index funds. Do I do individual stock picking? Of course. And I show you how to do that inside the Moola app, which I hope you downloaded already. But again, this is an ETF is the majority of my holdings. And for the sake of this, it is the holdings for this experiment here that we're doing. When I say dollar cost averaging, here's what I mean. Do you see that middle right box where it says your average cost per share? That box right there, $533.14. Meaning over the past 7 weeks, as I've continued to buy, times it was above that number, times it was below that number, this all averages out to $533.14. Now you can see, wow, it's currently at $480 today, Jason. So you bought and it's worth less than that. And that's correct. Look at my total unrealized profit and loss. Total, I'm down almost 10% on this. I'm up 3% today, which is great. But you can see total, I'm down almost 10% or $19. My $19 is the difference between what I own it at, $533.14, subtract, right, to figure out the $480.87. That's my what's called unrealized. It's unrealized because I haven't actually sold it yet. Unrealized loss in this case, but it could also be a profit. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to keep buying to lower that number down. In fact, let's do it here together. So someone remember $533.14. Let's see if even my small little investment can make that significant of a difference here. $533.14, I just refreshed to make sure all those numbers are correct. I'm gonna do my normal buy, I believe it's $28. I'm not worried about the perfect strike price or anything like that. What I'm looking for is just to put one foot in front of the other and keep going. So $28, you can see we fractionalize those shares so many that it falls off the screen there. All right, $28, I review, I submit that order. We can go back to the dashboard. Let's go back to our VOO. Let's pull to refresh real quick here. And do you see that? What just happened? Look at that number we just looked at. We went from my average cost per share, meaning I had to let VOO, the ETF in this case, the S&P 500 ETF, get above 533, I think it was 14 cents, until we started to see a profit. That was my water line. That was to get my head above water and just breathe. I needed to get to 533 and 14. But by buying this dip down 9%, almost 10% over this 7 weeks, I put $28 in. Not a significant amount, right? But we're staying the course on this. I lowered the water line. I lowered through dollar cost averaging. Many of you know this. This is gonna be a longer video, and I'm sorry, I'm just very passionate about this topic. Many of you know our last business that we sold and exited was in aviation. And an analogy I always give of this particular screen here is this is my instrument panel. When I'm flying my airplane, I have 6 instruments in front of me. And at any given point, those instruments tell me what just happened 30 seconds ago, what's happening right now, and they show me a trend of what's likely to happen the next 30 seconds if you keep doing what you're doing. I view this as my instrument panel. And I look at this average cost per share often because I want to know where that water line is, and I'm always looking for ways to lower it. Listen, now VOO only needs to come up to 526. By the way, my unrealized profit and loss went down. How did I went from down almost 10%, it was 9.8 something percent. By investing more, I'm actually down less. It seems counterintuitive. Most people think I'm down, sell, get out of this thing. No. If you're in it for the long haul, and I want you to be, when you're down, we end up putting more in because we can lower our average cost per share. We bring down that unrealized loss. Now, when we get to 533, which was our previous goal, we're actually a few percentage points profitable at that point. Does that make sense? This is how it works. This is why $5 per day. I've read the comments, every single one of these. A lot of you don't believe $5 per day is going to mean anything. That's fine. In episode 7, I get it. Come back in episode 77. You're going to go, that Jason guy, maybe he was thinking. Episode 77 is a year and a half, right? You'll be like, wow, we're actually building something here. I see the momentum. I see the snowball growing. Anyways, let's keep doing here. My other bit of diversification here is IBIT, which is a Bitcoin ETF, Bitcoin has just been beat up lately. Down again, almost 10% on that. We've been buying $7, 28 in the one, 7 in this for a total of $35 or $5 per day. Same routine. We buy, back to the dashboard, and we'll do it all again. You can see actually, I have my next deposit in there waiting for me. You say, well, it should be $35, right? Well, it's $35.59. Why is that? Well, because Moola is also a high yield savings account. So I earned 59 cents on my interest, right? Like the goal with Moola for us is I just wanted everything working for you. Whether the cash is sitting there, whether you invested it, I prefer you invested obviously, but even while you're sitting on the sidelines, maybe waiting for an opportunity, leave it liquid, but earn 3.75%. It's only 59 cents this month, but on $35, I'll take that, right? This is how I want you thinking about your finances. Will you jump in the $5 per day challenge with me? We're only, 7 weeks in? Like it's not too late to jump in here as well. Listen, have a blessed, abundant, outstanding rest of your day. Download the Moola app, like, subscribe, follow. There's a lot of great content throughout the week. We post this every Friday for $5 Fridays. So you'll be able to see that as well. But there's more great content inside the app and on our social channels as well. I'll see y'all.